Champions League.
I totally
Whether
agree.
it's a fourth place spot, I think that's okay for this year. Moving forward, though, you can't keep marginally getting in there.
But is that good enough? But is a marginal Champions League entrant good enough for a Dele Alli to stay? And then the other question that I'll ask you is, what's Dele Alli going to be worth next year if he has a decent season this year?
He's going to be worth a lot of money. I don't know.
No, the
it's
company
ridiculous.
The company that said Neymar was worth 215, I believe it was, has, I think, Harry at 155 and Dele at 145 right now.
We sold Kyle Walker for $50 million.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Right?
Let's talk about Harry.
All right.
Sure.
The August to forget, hopefully a September to remember. But, I mean, if we want to challenge for the league, he needs to be more clinical at this time of the year.
It would have been helpful had he scored today for a number of reasons.
Well, if both goals that he hit the woodwork on go in, I mean, that's another 2 points right there.
But I don't know what the problem is, because
it happens.
Midway through the season, at the end of the season, these chances he's getting, he puts them away 9 times out of 10.
But Tim, what's done is done, and you're not worried about Harry Kane. Harry Kane
no, I'm
is
not,
going to be Harry Kane.
I'm not worried, but I'm not gonna give praise to his performance so far this season.
But you know what? His body of work has been what it's been, and it's unfortunate that he, for whatever reason, it's no different than Wembley. It's we haven't won at Wembley. It's not Wembley. It's us. He hasn't scored in August. It's not Harry Kane. Well, I mean, it's not representative of who he is as a player. It just happens to be the variance that just happens to be the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I'm all sorts of fucked up right now.
I hear you. I mean, look, if he just bangs one in today, we're at least telling Houston Spurs that, hey, there's a little bit of ray of light to your day today.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I was Timmy ice cream pints today. I went and got a pint of ice cream and ate it. I was upset.
You did?
Well, actually, my wife, we announced it last week. She's pregnant, so she's like on my way home, pick me out some ice cream. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get.
So you were Spurs
I'm getting
today.
some ice.
You were Spurs.
A little bit. I ate a pint of ice cream.
Hey Tim, let me ask you this: Is Harry one of these guys? I mean, we're on the cusp possibly of selling Janssen, but we're not going to. I don't believe. Is he one of these guys that doesn't? I'm just saying, is he one of these guys that doesn't feel pushed, and because of that, no? I mean, it's not that he's not giving 110% every time he steps on the pitch. He is, but does he need to be pushed a little bit?
No, I mean, from everything you read about, he stays late after practices and works on his finishing. I don't think he's one of those players. I mean, it's always good to be pushed, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's one of those players that's not going to give it his all every single training session. That doesn't seem like he's that type of guy.
What
so I don't think we have to.
We're having a conversation doubting Harry Kane? What's wrong with us?
I'm not doubting him.
This is blasphemy.
And the fact that
risen.
The fact that I'm trying to pick you two up?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking bad, actually. Oh God! All right, so let's talk about this really quick.
Cheerleader on the Hotspur America.
Yeah, happy-clappy, something. Positionally, is it right back? Is that our biggest need, or do you still think it's attacking midfield? Where do we need some help if we're going to do something in the next?
Tim, you actually talk from actual knowledge. I talk from emotion here, but
I'd say yeah. I mean, right back, we need someone to stretch the defense, and
not left back. Does left back not get included in that?
Well, no, because Danny's coming back. We're not letting him go. We're not letting him go. I will definitively say it right now.
Wow.
At least not this transfer window.
All right.
But no, I mean,
hope you're right.
Look at Wembley, a bigger pitch. Is that causing teams to sit back a little more, not be as aggressive going forward because you have more pitch to cover? So do we need to?
And knowing that you don't have speed and width to really threaten with, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we don't. So I think we need a fast fullback. I mean, a fast right back, fast left back. What was so great about us last season, when we were at peak performance, Chelsea in January, That it's Danny and Kyle stretching them, bombing down the wings, wreaking havoc, and opening everything up
Yeah.
for Erickson, Deli, Harry.
Yeah.
And we don't have that right now. It's getting so congested in the final third. That's why, the shots we had today, I think it was like, of our 24 or whatever, I think it was like 18 of them were blocked. Like, it's because it's so damn congested in there. We don't have anyone creating that width and opening up the final third.
Reminded me of
Right.
two years ago. It really did.
Let's face it, Spurs playing the formation that we play, we at least a little bit rely on the counterattack to open those positions up as the wingers are flying down the pitch. And when you have 10 behind the ball, it's harder to break teams down. It just simply is. And we haven't had that quality, to Tim's point, of finishing here in the first 3 weeks of the season that we've needed to have to put either games away or to at least stay level in the case of Chelsea. Is Aria the answer? Who knows? So let me ask the big question with 80 hours to go here. Sam, who do we buy? Are we going to buy? Are we going to sell? Vimmer to Stoke seems like it's a done deal. 15 mil.
Yeah, I think somebody was
That's
saying
more
that he
money.
was saying his goodbyes after the match. So if that's true, then he's well. Look, the signing of Davinson Sanchez is certainly a good buy in and of itself. So,
Sure.
So do I think we signed Barkley. I think he'll be signed. I suspect that Aurier will be signed. I was wrong. I talked a lot of shit that Sessegnon would be signed this week, and he wasn't. And those rumors died down. Poch seems to insist that there's 3 players in, but let's just say that it's Sessegnon, Aurier, and Barkley. In terms of the immediate additive effect, would it surprise you greatly that we hear Aurier isn't as fit as we would like for him to be, or he breaks down in training? I'd freak out over something like that. I don't think there's going to be any marquee signing, put it that way. I think Aurier is probably going to be the best
There's not
pure player.
a surprise up the sleeve, so to speak.
I don't know. I asked a question.
No. I will dispute that with you all day.
Who?
But
Please
there's
do.
not a surprise.
Please, I hope you're right.
up the sleeve.
Who? Oh, you don't think there is? Oh, you think
So
there is?
August, I think there. Let's just look
Like
at
who?
the
Like a
last
Julian
2
Draxler
seasons.
kind of thing?
Something we're not even thinking of. Last year, August
Let's go.
31st, 2016, we signed Musa Sissoko. Did anybody look at that as a possibility going into the
No,
last
it was
couple of
somebody.
days?
It was a nightmare for people. Why would anybody have thought that we were going to sign Musa Sissoko?
Well, he's coming off. Don't look at how he performed last year. Just
Nobody
take it
ever described Musa
coming off
Sissoko
of
as a
a
player that we wanted. He was
Okay,
a,
but what you're
pardon the
missing
expression,
my.
he was a mercy fuck. He really
You're
was.
Sam, you're missing my point.
I'm
My
sorry.
point isn't the player he was. It's us doing something unexpected at the very end, going out and signing someone that was on nobody's radar. So that's last year. The year before that,
Well, hang
August
on, let me
28th.
just address that.
Fuck.
Hang on, let me just address
Okay,
that.
okay.
So you can make your point. I wasn't surprised by that. Forget that it was Musa Sissoko. We were desperate, and we put ourselves in that situation. We had failed with so many other players. Did it surprise me that we spent that much money on a player? No. Did it surprise me that it was on Musa Sissoko? Yeah. So anyway, sorry. Go on. I didn't mean to.
You done ruining my point?
No, but I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to ruin your point, but that's like I'm getting you back for the $8 million versus $2 million comment.
The only thing I'm saying is deadline day last year, Musa Sissoko. I didn't see it happening. I didn't see. He was never on the radar. And then you take it the year before that, August 28th, 2015, 3 days left or less than 72 hours left. We signed Heung-min Son. Once again, not on anybody's radar.
Danny Rose had to Google him. Didn't know who he was.
But, we spent big money on him. We spent £27 million on him. So to say that we don't think we're going to make a surprise signing, something big in these last couple hours.
I said a big name signing. I said a big name signing. And Hyunmin Song and Musa Sissoko are not big name signings.
But you're talking about who have we been linked with. and we're not linked with a big name, and that's the only point I'm making is don't look at who we've been linked with, because 2 years in a row we've gone out and signed someone at the very end that was on nobody's radar.
Yeah, well, my point that I'm trying to make is that I'm not going to be surprised that we spend big money right at the end, but I think that's a function of waiting till the very end, and also the fact that the transfer fees are up this year. My point is that I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you from that perspective, but I don't want a Musa Sissoko or a Hyunmin Song per se. I want somebody that people collectively, a great proportion of Spurs fans could say, "Wow, I can't believe we just did that. That's a great fucking signing." I don't think
is Zaha big enough for that.
I'm trying to have it. I'm trying to have a beacon of hope here, and you're just shitting all of my.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But I think. But my point I'm trying to make is that we're you've talked about it. You've talked about the importance of getting off to a good start, not playing catch up, actually, really trying to pursue something early, and not going into a sprint when you've got a pulled hamstring. And I think you do that by making a signing that can really help you now. And I don't necessarily. Maybe it's Julian Draxler as that player. Like I asked people this week, I really meant it. It was a genuine question. I kind of said a funny, "Hey, I'm asking for a friend," but I'm like, would Julian Draxler be a good signing?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I mean, it was 50-50 for as many people that were incredibly passionate that he was a great player and a great signing. There were equal people that said no. So I'm not sure who that player is. I have to sit back and go look at a spreadsheet and think through things a little bit more. Thomas Lamar comes to the top of my mind.
I know Thomas Lamar comes to mind for you, but I think that there are
Tim said
much
probably
bigger
not even
clubs that are also looking at Thomas Lamar that are going to outgun us when it comes to money for that player. However, for me, it's Premier League pedigree. That's something that stands out big with me. We need to inject pace, we need to inject control, and we need to inject scoring. And there's two players that scream that for teams that are either A, that player has already asked to be out, or that they are in a relegation battle as it stands. Crystal Palace has 0 points right now in the Premier League. They have a -6 goal difference. They are 19th only behind West Ham because they are even more shit than they are. Zaha, even though he just signed a 5-year deal, could be available for the right price. And the other player who has asked to leave but has serviceably played with his club, which I have a lot of respect for, is Mahrez. And I think one of those two players could be that surprise player that we are currently really not linked with on deadline day.
Did you guys watch the United-Leicester game?
He was the only good player on the field for them, I thought.
Really? You thought that?
I did.
Yeah.
I was watching it.
God, did you see what he did to Phil Jones? He murdered him.
No, so here's my thought on it. Watching that game, I'm looking at Mahrez the whole time, and I'm thinking, you know what everyone over at the scum is moaning about with Ozil, when they don't have the ball, he's a wasted player. Mahrez so many times just refused to even play any defense.
But Tim, as a
players
sub,
were running
as a
past
sub,
them.
as a sub
Eriksen
to bring
doesn't
on,
play defense.
No, I think Eriksen does. I mean, I think he does. I mean, I think he certainly does more than Ozil and far more than Ozil, far more than Mahrez. But as a sub, fuck. I mean,
but not as a sub, because we can get into this in a couple minutes, but that October to November stage we have, those 36 days, the players we're signing aren't necessarily just subs. They're depth players who can start a match.
But you're not going to sign a Mahrez in lieu of a Ross Barkley. You're going to sign a Mahrez with a Ross Barkley, right?
Which we should do.
Well, I don't know. I think we should.
And
I'm saying if you I'm totally fine with assigning a luxury player. Completely fine with that. That's exactly the kind of player that we want to have when we're 1-0 down, or or 1-1 and we need a spark. Oh my God, having Mahrez come off the bench, I could give a shit whether he plays defense or not.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we need to do. Oh, by the way, there's this little thing called Champions League, which we are in. There's an FA Cup, a League Cup. We need that depth. You just can't play 20-year-old kids every single time you play these tournaments.
How was Sissoko's defending today?
That's exactly, he didn't, coming in as late as he did. I mean,
I thought he didn't play bad at all.
I didn't think he played bad at all either.
No, his defending, he got caught jogging.
What I'm saying with Mahrez is Kenny, that's exactly my point. With all the competitions we're in, we're not bringing in that player just to be a super sub. He is going to have to start games, and